This is something that I've, for many years, been really interested in and thought to be important information to share with families and people who live in homes because the things that we bring into our home really affect us in a very deep and long-lasting way. So cleaning is something that isn't necessarily the funnest thing, but it can be more fun, and it definitely can be better for us. So just a real quick intro. I'm Lacey. If we haven't met before, I'm excited to have you here. This is a part of our mini class series where this is the third one that we've done. And if you didn't join us for the cleansing class a couple weeks ago, we talked a lot about reducing toxic load. I talked more about clean eating and that kind of thing. But one of the most important things that we can do for our health is really clean up our environments and the best that we can. And our cleaning products are one of the main ways that we can do that. So the point of today's class is to really kind of dip your toes into what that looks like, some simple things that you can do, my 5 top simple things, and then some really easy recipes. And if you're not a DIYer, I'll share some great products with you too, or even simpler ways to get good products that will replace those ones that maybe aren't so great. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is simple and easy, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to use the raise your hand feature, or save it for the end. We do have a comment box, so you're welcome to use that as well. 1 second, I've got to mute some of the participants. I get a lot of feedback if I don't, so. Okay. All right, so cleaning. I thought that was catchy. All right, so first of all, we need to recognize the dangers of the things that we bring into our homes. I don't know if you remember that Mr. Yuck image when I was a kid. That was on all the things under our pantry or under our kitchen sink. And I just think it's interesting that we bring these things into our homes without much question. They just are sort of staples in most homes across the United States, at least. Interestingly enough, I think this picture is from Korea or something like that. So clearly all over the world, these products are staples, and they are poisonous. They're just like bringing any other poison into your home. So we have to be careful with them. And we should be aware that we are bringing those dangers in. Sometimes I think we take that risk without really realizing it. Some of the side effects that we should be aware of when we're exposed to toxins that are found in cleaners. And some of these things you may recognize as things that you deal with or people you know deal with. And a lot of times people don't relate these issues back to things as simple as what they're cleaning with. So it's important to keep these in mind. But things like asthma, allergies, rashes, moodiness, headaches, hormone imbalance, lower immunity, and bacterial overgrowths. There's a lot more that's not on this list, but generally sickness. I mean, when we're exposed to toxins, it throws off our immune system, and if our immune system is off, then it can present in all of these different ways. So this is facts. I'm not going to read through every single one of them. One that I thought was particularly interesting is the second one there, though. Children are often more vulnerable to chemical exposure during developmental stages, and certain chemicals may interfere with the development of their neurological, endocrine, and immune systems. They're mainly exposed to eating, drinking, breathing, and touching. Of course, kids do all of those. And then the one right after that, younger children have higher respiratory rates than adults, meaning they breathe faster than we do. Therefore, they absorb more air contaminants per unit of weight, meaning they experience a higher inhaled dose. So these are just things we need to keep in mind. Of course, it's not good for anyone, but for children, it's especially bad to be exposed to these things. And we think that, oh, well, they'll go outside and breathe clean air and everything will be good. But being exposed to these things at a young age can lead to issues that are long lasting, even into adulthood. So it's important that we take steps. But according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the air inside a typical home is 200 to 500% more polluted than the air outside, mainly due to toxic household cleaning products. So this is something that we can take charge of, and we can easily and simply and over time really completely eliminate that threat. And make our home environments the safest place that we could possibly be, which is what we mostly think of our home environments to be. But anyway. Okay, so number one, moving on in. Number one is simple, and it's not even an essential oil, but I will relate it to essential oils briefly. House plants are super nice and easy to have. Of course, some of us don't have a green thumb. I put a picture of that plant because I can never remember what it's called. Philodendron. I don't know if that's right or not, but for some reason that one will basically stay alive in my house. I wouldn't say that it thrives, but it does stay alive. So that's a good option if you're not great with a green thumb. Some people have menageries in their house, and I always am very envious of people with lots of greens growing in their home, like my grandmother, who's really good at it. But whatever you can grow, try to grow. What they do is they release a lot of oxygen and they take in a lot of carbon dioxide. So that cycle right there is really good for us. They release water, they purify the air. They're known to improve health. They have done some studies on hospital recovery times are actually speeded up if there are plants in the room. It also helps to increase focus. So when they release the water, adding moisture to the air or humidity to the air, especially during these winter months, is really good for respiratory stuff. And just in general, having moisture in your air is super good. But they're a huge benefit, and they are a simple thing that we can add to our home environment. The second thing that I highly recommend, especially if we aren't real great with plants, but really anyone, is to use a good diffuser, an essential oil diffuser. A lot of people have fancy air purifiers, and there's nothing wrong with those. However, I feel like the oils in a diffuser do an even better job of purifying the air, because not only do they purify, they also give you, some healthful benefits like enhancing your immune system and boosting your mood, and supporting respiration and opening your airways. They also, because the molecules of essential oils are so small, and because most diffusers, this is a cool mist diffuser, do a good job at dispersing those molecules into the air particles, they break down VOCs and other toxins that are released from our cleaners, and even things like paint or new furniture, or maybe a new shower curtain. These things release all kinds of toxins and chemicals, and we bring those things into our houses all the time, into our homes all the time. So when we can diffuse, it helps to kill those things, knock those things out so that they're not lingering in our air for us to breathe in. Killing funguses in the air, molds in the air, is a super important thing. And mold can be a major issue in homes. And I've known a lot of people who have had to even leave their homes, move out of their homes, because of fungal issues. So using oils that are good for mold prevention in a diffuser is a good way to get that dissipated throughout the whole home. But using them in cleaners would be a great option as well. And then killing germs. So of course, if there's any kind of bug flying around in the house, somebody brings them a cold or whatever, using a diffuser is super good. So it distributes the EO molecules into the air particles very, very well. So number 3 would be to replace your dishwasher soap. I don't know that everyone would have this as their top priority, but replacing your dishwasher soap is huge. Our dishwasher soap is generally very toxic, and as most of our cleaners are. However, when you use a dishwasher, it's basically functioning as a giant diffuser in your house. It heats up those toxins and chemicals and then releases them in through the steam that it releases into your house. And then you breathe that in, and it's like the opposite of a diffuser. It's really not a great thing. So the cleaner your dishwasher soap can be, toxic wise, the better. They generally are filled with petroleum kinds of products, which again, not good for us, but also not good for our environment. And also those chemicals are very strong, go back into our sewer system, kill fishes and other animals. Those things don't just disappear as soon as we're done cleaning our dishes. They go right back out into the whatever, if you have a septic system, or back into the city water. And it's really hard to clean those things back out. So, and of course, over years and years and years, they just continue to build up. So doing ourselves a favor, but also doing the environment a favor for long term. Number 4, decrease bleach. So some of the things that maybe, most people have bleach in their home. I even have a small bottle of bleach in my home, just because every once in a while you really do need bleach for something. And it is a natural substance in most cases, or in a lot of cases. That natural substances are not always good for us, though. So we do need to keep in mind, there are a lot of natural substances that are dangerous that you wouldn't necessarily want to bring into your home. Generally, people don't keep gasoline in their home, another natural substance. there's lots, the list could go on and on, but exposure to bleach can cause irritation in the eyes, mouth, lungs, and on the skin. Individuals with asthma or other breathing problems are particularly susceptible. It can burn human tissue internally or externally, especially in small children. The accidental swallowing of bleach is the most frequently received call at poison control centers involving children under the age of 6. So that came from the Naturally Clean Home on page 19. And bleach manufacturing also produces dioxin, a chemical that is harmful to the environment. So there's lots of reasons. And the main reason really is, to me, there's other alternatives. Bleach is somewhat of a staple in our homes. We know that smell. Most people are aware of that smell and think that that smell means things are clean. It means things are sterile. I feel like clean and sterile are two different things. Clean is a good thing. Clean is when, you've wiped up bacteria and gotten rid of the dangers. But sterile is when you've almost gotten rid of too much and your body and your home are left with nothing, no balance. A sterile environment is not necessarily a healthy environment. If you think about a hospital setting, it's mainly sterile, but these diseases flourish in a sterile environment because there's no balance. And a lot of times in a hospital, you need to be more careful because of those superbugs come in and they are very dangerous, and not bleach sometimes is not effective on those. So when you're breathing in these types of fumes, you are damaging brain cells, lung cells, potentially straining your liver, and much more. So bleach is very dangerous. It's just one of those things we don't really think of as a danger, but it's one of those things I think that should be on our radar at all times and definitely kept up in high place. You can find alternatives. Like I said, lemon and citrus oils have a lot of the same qualities. And they have antibacterial, fungal, antiseptic, and more. And we often feel cleaner when we use these chemicals because we know the germs are dead, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a great thing. Another good example of that too clean feeling is when we use those antibacterial hand sanitizers. And those things just strip all of the good and the bad. And so if we can avoid those, we'll be doing ourselves a service. And not only will we not be stripping the moisture out of our hands, which a lot of people, realize that happens when they use those products, but we'll be getting the added benefits of essential oils if we can replace it with something simple. So one real quick recipe that I use all the time, that's not a cleaner necessarily, but it is a cleaner for my hand, is we use witch hazel and On Guard, our favorite blend for germ killing. In just a spray bottle. And I keep that in my purse all the time. When we're out eating dinner, we spray our hands ahead of time. And when we have been exposed to something or been to a class or something with other kids, it always makes me feel more secure when I know the kids have that on hand, or that we have a spray where we can get the benefits of the oils at the same time. Okay, reading labels is the number 5. So this is one thing that I think that we think about a lot when we're eating, when we're talking about food, but sometimes we don't think about it in our other products. We don't think about it in maybe our makeups or the household products that we bring into our home. I copied this from the HeartySoul.com. She had a whole article about dangerous dish soap, and I thought it was very interesting, and it was about some of the different ingredients you need to look for. One I want to take note of that I think always is a very fast and easy one to remember is fragrance. That's an easy word to remember. Some of these other ones are a little bit more difficult. If you see the word fragrance, it means that they're using synthetics or toxins in that cleaner. It's not a natural cleaner at all. So that's something that it's a red flag, and an easy identified red flag too. A couple other easier to identify that aren't on the list on the screen, but I can list off for you. Phenols, they're used in disinfectants and toilet cleaners, and they're toxic to the respiratory and circulatory system. Diethylene glycol is used in window cleaners, and it depresses the nervous system. Formaldehyde is used in spray and wick deodorizers. It's a respiratory irritant and a suspected carcinogen. Petroleum, it's used solvents in floor cleaners and damages mucous membranes. And petroleum-based chemicals contribute to the depletion of the renewable resource. And then many other cleaners are pollutants. So they contribute to smog, reduce air quality and drinking water quality, and are toxic to animals. So those are just a few of the ones that I think we need to be aware of. So again, that was phenols, diethylene glycol, formaldehyde, petroleum, And then this list here, sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium laureth sulfate, propylene glycol, another glycol, methyl, I'm not going to go for that one. But anyway, these are not good things. And if you read through some of these, it's pretty depressing that these have become standard ingredients in products that we bring into our home and expose our children to or ourselves to on a regular basis. And there are some specific companies, I'm not going to list out any names, that are really well known for making cleaning products, for being family oriented, who are basically profiting off of selling toxins to people in a way that seems warm and cozy. And I think that needs to, it's just something that we need to be aware of. We need to be aware that just because it's marketed to be family friendly doesn't mean that it is. Okay, some bonus tips on top of the 5. Simple things that you can do to improve your home air quality. Open your windows often. Take off your shoes at the door. That's a simple thing. You know, sometimes people act like that's inconvenient, but you know, in some cultures that is, it's an offense if you do not do that. And I think with good reason. Test your water. That's something you can do. I think you can get testing supplies at a local hardware store. You might want to get a professional to come in. There's lots of chemicals in our water. Chlorine is one, fluoride is another, and lots of other things that they add to our water to clean up different, whatever is in our city water, especially. So when you're using tap water, be aware, and that might be something, it might really be worth investing into a tap water purification system. One of the ways that we're heavily exposed to toxins that we aren't necessarily aware of is when we take a shower. It heats up again those chemicals and we breathe it in like a really intense diffuser while we're standing there in that vapor of that water. And that's something that most people don't really consider. And, you know, you think about the water you're drinking, but you don't think about that water that you're breathing in and putting all over your open pores in that hot shower. So testing your water is a big deal. Mop with water and essential oils to collect dust that's left after sweeping. A lot of that dust contains some of the harshest, you know, maybe it's heavy metals or whatever that's in the dirt that comes in when we come home. Get dirty in real dirt. So I think that's important. One of the things that it seems like we're afraid of is having, you know, any kind of dirt exposure, but it turns out that kids who grow up on farms have stronger immune systems. There's a natural balance of really good dirt and those things that are in the environment naturally that help build our immune system. Avoid scented, non-natural candles or other fragrance devices. You could be a plug-in or you know, a heating device type thing. Use a natural plug-in option or eliminate plug-in devices altogether. Those plug-in guys or some of the air fresheners that you'll see that mask smells, those guys are bad news. Ingredients are bad. What they do is bad. If you're sensitive at all to those smells, as I am, I tend to get headaches as soon as I walk into a room where I smell those kinds of fragrances. They are super potent and highly, what's the word I'm looking for? Irritating for people who have fragrance sensitivities. Avoid pesticides, using both using and on the foods you eat. So, you know, if you have bugs in your home, there are several different alternatives for that. Peppermint is a really good option. Borax is a really good option. And borax is remotely, it's another one that you might want to keep out of the reach of children and do some reading on that, but it's safer than a lot of the other things that we bring into our home and doesn't have the same side effects that these pesticides that we often use to keep ants and things and spiders away. Soap even is a good option to keep bugs out of your house. Clean your foods with a simple food wash. So when you bring in produce, a lot of times we don't even realize, a lot of times organic produce is sprayed once it gets to the grocery store because they don't want to risk bringing in pests on that organic produce into the grocery store where the rest of the produce is, which is frustrating because I don't think they have to mark that or say anything about that because it was organically grown. So it's within that range of meeting those criteria. But just so you know, even when you're buying organic, a lot of times you're still being exposed. Fend off pests with peppermint soap and borax. So there's that example or suggestion. I think somebody has a question, so I'm going to really briefly look at the comments. I saw one pop up. I have a friend who would like to make her own natural cleaners with essential oils, but she feels that it would be wasteful to throw out the chemical cleaners that she currently owns. What would I suggest? I understand that dilemma, and honestly, I've held on to some sort of dangerous chemicals for a while. Even some of the medications that we had left over, I held on to because I didn't know how to dispose of them. You can take them to the waste treatment facility. I think in Greensboro, there's one on Patterson Road, and usually every town or city has a place where you can take those dangerous chemicals to either they recycle them or they dispose of them safely. I mean, it is remotely wasteful, but it's better than exposing yourself to toxins. I mean, I'd waste a lot of poison before I'd put it in my house, if that makes any sense. As soon as you're, when you become aware of these things, you realize, well, how much poison is okay? That's really the question. Not to say that we can't, our bodies do heal and we can recover from some of these exposures, but we want to eliminate them as quickly as we can. And if that means using up your bottle before you start this new way of doing things, that's okay. I think there are some tools like using a diffuser while you're cleaning. For example, if I'm painting something, I try to get the low VOC paint or the no VOC paint options. But a lot of times I will diffuse a lot of lemon while I'm using those products. Or with paint, you can even add lemon essential oil into the vat of paint and paint with it and help eliminate some of those chemical toxins in the air. So there are some workarounds for sure. In fact, with the dishwasher soap, if you're still using a harsh dishwasher soap, one recommendation I would throw out there is to throw a couple of drops of lemon essential oil in the bottom of the dishwasher basin when you're doing it, so that it'll help break down those toxins and not cause quite as much of an issue. I hope that's a good suggestion for you. Okay, so now into how you can replace those products, because you're not going to just stop cleaning. These are some really great options. These are On Guard cleaning products and toothpaste. I kept on there too because toothpaste is a sly little bugger. You'll find a lot of times in toothpaste ingredients that first of all, the bottle of toothpaste will say do not ingest, which, you're putting it in your mouth. So that's awfully, it's like playing with fire, I would think. But anyway, so toothpaste can be a really bad product on the market. There's lots of bad ingredients. The sulfites that were listed off earlier, a lot of times are in the toothpaste to make the sudsing action. And you can avoid those and get a really good toothpaste. You can make your own toothpaste and add essential oils too, and get a lot of healthful benefits from that. But if you're, for me, I made some toothpaste. It was okay, but it wasn't, nice. It got hard. It had coconut oil in. So our doTERRA toothpaste is amazing, and it tastes good. My kids like it. And I know I'm getting good ingredients in there. So then the On Guard laundry detergent is a great option. It's got enzymes in it, which is a really neat and plant-based biological way to clean instead of using harsh chemicals or toxins. So the enzymes will kind of eat through protein stains especially, and get your laundry nice and clean and smelling good. And then the laundry On Guard cleaning concentrate, I actually just got for the first time because I've been making it a really simple recipe for a long time, but then I was like, I need to try this. And so this is probably the last holdout for me of things that I hadn't purchased from doTERRA yet, but it's super concentrated. So you really only need like a quarter of a teaspoon mixed with water. And then you've got your cleaning spray. So that's a really simple thing that bottle, it's 12 ounces, would last you for a really long time. So I'm excited to see how that works in our house. The foaming hand wash, that's something we've been using for a while. We have several different kinds of foaming hand pumps that you can get them from doTERRA, or you can find them at different places. I found one recently at Tuesday Morning, and I've seen them around town too, in other what's the word I'm looking for? When you're shopping in the department, I don't know, maybe Bed Bath & Beyond would have some foaming hand soaps. And you just put a little bit of this soap concentrate in, then some water, and then refill that bottle as needed. And it just pumps out this really nice foaming hand soap. And that foaming hand soap can be pretty expensive. So in addition to being better for your health, using oils and these simple cleaning products is better for your wallet too, because they tend to last longer. And if you're going to make them yourselves, are super cheap. So let's go moving forward to the recipe part of our class. Some simple ingredients. There are some good oils to use for cleaning in the picture there. I'm going to list off some more in just a minute. But using these simple ingredients plus essential oils can create a very powerful and enjoyable experience. Again, good for your overall health, but also good for cleaning. One thing I thought that was really interesting, I found when you rid your home, you can rid your home of airborne germs by diffusing. Diffusing lemon can kill I don't know if I'm saying this right, meningococcus in 15 minutes, typhus in under an hour, staph A in 2, and pneumococcus bacteria within 3. Even a 0.2% solution of lemon oil can inactivate tuberculosis bacteria. So that was a big fact. I'll read it one more time for you. But I think it's just a good representation of what the oils can do. One simple fact, there's a lot of science that's been done. You can find on pubmed.gov. This came from the book, The Practice of Aromatherapy by Jean Velnay. But rid your home of airborne germs by diffusing. Diffusing lemon can kill meningococcus, so like meningitis, I think maybe, germs or bacteria, in 15 minutes, typhus in under an hour, staph A in 2, pneumococcus bacteria within 3, and even a 0.2% solution of lemon oil can inactivate tuberculosis bacteria. So interesting fact, in Europe, in a lot of European hospitals, they actually diffuse lemon throughout the entire ventilation system because probably those very facts right there. I mean, those are some of the main things that pop up in hospitals: meningitis, staph infections, pneumonia. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. And I do know some other interesting facts about essential oils. A friend of ours had recently had to deal, it wasn't that recent, but not too long ago, had to deal with a mold issue under their home. And the guy who came to treat it used oregano essential oil in a heavy dilution, but that was what they used to treat for that mold issue. So just so you know, that's a really neat fact. They still are using them even in a commercial setting. So here are some examples of ingredients. I just like this image, so I thought I would share it with y'all. You can see there's a picture of liquid castile. I like to get the one that's in the blue bottle that's called the Baby Mild or whatever. It's basically just the unscented version of Dr. Bronner's. There are a couple other brands of castile soap, liquid castile soap, that you can use for your different cleaners that you might make. Baking soda is super good for scrubbing, whitening, deodorizing, and cutting grease. Simple and so easy. White vinegar cuts grease, deodorizes, and dissolves mineral deposits. And then borax is on there. Although it's natural, borax is toxic when ingested, so it can cause skin irritation. So keep it away from children, pet, and food, but it's not nearly as intense as the other ingredients that are found in most of our cleaning products. And because it's inert, it's not, it's safe to use in the environment. It goes back into the environment the way that it ought to. So liquid or bar castile soap, baking soda, white vinegar, borax. Washing soda is something else that you can get. Sometimes they have it at Harris Teeter or the grocery store. They don't always though, but again, this is something you can find access to on Amazon pretty easily. Citric acid is another, that sounds like a bigger deal than it is. Again, you can get it. I think I ordered mine on Amazon. You can get small amounts of it in the canning section, but it was much more inexpensive to buy in bulk online. Kosher salt and olive oil, just for different recipes. If you have those ingredients, you can make multiple different, very effective cleaners. So a simple multi-purpose cleaner, it would be Citrus Bliss, or really any citrus essential oil with 4 tablespoons of white vinegar and 16 to 20 ounces of water. You put that in a spray bottle and use that on all your surfaces, and that would probably even work well on windows, depending on what cloth you're using. The picture on the right with the baking soda and the sifter and everything, or those sieve, is for making a like an upholstered furniture or a mattress deodorizer. So you would shake this on your mattress or on your rug even, and I've known people to use this specifically if they've had a flea issue with melaleuca and lavender. So put the baking soda in the jar, and then put the lavender and the melaleuca, shake it up, and then using a sieve kind of shake it evenly all over the surface. Let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes or longer if you want to, and then come back with a vacuum and vacuum that up. It's very effective. We love using that. It makes the carpet smell better. It makes the upholstery smell better. Very refreshing. The wood polish, there's several great wood polish recipes. Using lemon or wild orange or one of the citruses in wood polish is super good for wood surfaces. Also, there's usually a little olive oil or maybe coconut oil in those recipes. I really love dryer balls. Those are wool dryer balls. You can actually make your own, and there's a article about how to do that on doTERRA's website. But that's super simple. You can buy them too, wool dryer balls. I think doTERRA may still have dryer balls left from the holiday guide that you can purchase, and you just put the essential oils of your choice on those. And what I really like about that is you eliminate the need for dryer sheets, which often have very harsh fragrances. And you don't need to throw away a sheet, you know? I mean, you use these balls over and over and over again. They speed up drying time significantly, and they're really effective at distributing that scent. So we really like that. Lemon is an example in water on its own can clean surfaces. Lemon makes a really good fruit wash. You could either make a spray and spray your fruits and vegetables, or you can, what I like to do is fill the sink and add whatever I'm cleaning, and then add several drops of lemon and kind of shake it around and let it soak for a little while, and then let it drain. So that's a really simple thing that you can do. These are some of my favorite essential oils for cleaning: lemon, lime, wild orange, Douglas fir, eucalyptus, melaleuca, purify, our cleansing blend, thyme, peppermint, doTERRA On Guard, and then of course doTERRA cleaning concentrate. Simple and easy to use. And that is all for the PowerPoint. So that's it for the class. I'm really excited that you guys joined me. I'm going to open it up to questions now. And I hope that many of you will join us for our next class in 2 weeks. And hang on a second. I'm going to try to stop the screen share. Are there any questions or comments on that? Does anybody have any favorite cleaners? Or cleaning recipes? Oh, I did mean to tell you too, if you are interested, and I'm going to type this up so you can see it, you can text us at 336-221-3785 with the word cleaning, just the word cleaning, and we'll send you a link to a long list of our favorite recipes for cleaning supplies.